we're a little less stressed out this time starting this one,
I don't know
right?
if that's good or bad. I might be a little too relaxed.
Yeah, no, I've done a few podcasts since that first one, getting a lot more comfortable with it. Obviously, I've been watching your guys's. It's been awesome to see it grow, and I'm glad I gave you guys that first push at the beginning.
I was saying that today. I was like, I kind of wanted to do this as like a recap to kind of come back and pump your tires a little bit too, because like we were obviously kind of tricked us into starting the podcast in a way that we first thought it was like, oh, we're doing a podcast and Brad's doing it with us, and it's like, nope, it's just Monte Carlos, but yeah, no, I mean,
seems like it's doing good. You guys have been getting awesome guests.
Yeah, it's
good first season.
It's fun, man. Like it's been a passion project, kind of the first 10 episodes, and now it's starting to kind of become real. We're getting people reaching out that want to come on, and like, I think they're seeing the potential with the longevity of YouTube. Like, I really think it's like kind of a long haul game in YouTube, and putting content out there that's timeless and stuff, and giving these people a platform to talk on. It's just been like fun to kind of provide and build and learn how to structure that. But
it's super interesting. Like, podcasting is grown so much. Like, you hear podcasts popping up all over the place now, and it's exciting. I think it is like such a good medium to have long form discussions, and like I'm obsessed with them. I listen to them all the time. I'm sure you guys do the same thing. So
well, I find it's just like it's one of those things too that there's always a new one to watch. I find like I know you go on Netflix or YouTube, and like I now find myself picking YouTube over Netflix a lot, like just because there's more frequent content that's like more up to date. And I know I can't imagine keeping like the way when you like after doing 10 episodes and seeing how much goes into actually putting it out, and like it's not just uploading it to Apple Podcasts and YouTube and just done with it, because it's like you want to do clips and you want to do reels and you want to be relevant, and like it's definitely a learning curve for sure.
You guys got to start pumping out a little bit more clips, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's kind of what this is like I guess kind of interject, but welcome back, episode 11, Rising Tide Podcast. We're back with our original guest of Brad Epp.
OG original guest.
Yeah, the OG. The guy got it all going for us. Basically what we're doing is we're going to structure the podcast in 10 episode seasons. That way it kind of gives us a chance to recap, look back on the conversations we're having, and just kind of gives us kind of more of a structure. It's not really just like filling the gaps every week with trying to fill a guest. It's like, okay, we got season 1 done. Now we can go back, do all our clips and reels, and roll those out for the next couple of months.
I'll be back for the finale every season.
Exactly. Yeah, you just come recap and just shit on everything we did the whole year. But yeah, no, we're kind of excited. We've been talking to some more sponsors and stuff to try and make some money off this, because like Kyle and I said, like there's definitely something here. Yeah. We just kind of have to figure out how to structure it and like I don't know, look at it
build
as
an audience,
right?
Be able to sell to that audience. It's definitely important. So yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, but yeah, sorry to intervene there, but yeah,
I definitely like, since the last podcast that I've been here, I was asked by another podcast to do essentially the promotion for them. So I handled the clips, posting, and then also I partner with a guy named Tristan Ross. He's based out of Toronto. He went to St. Avex. He grew up in actually Truro, and he reached out to me when I was doing the East Coast Lifestyle podcast, wanting to do clips, and essentially brought him onto the team. And I've learned a lot about how to promote a podcast. It's hilarious because I never promoted a podcast really before, other than the East Coast Lifestyle one, which we don't do as many episodes compared to the weekly Master Keys.
It's kind of like a quality over quantity thing with that one, though.
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
You're having bigger named guests on, and that's kind of like us too. Like we could easily like fill the gaps and just have like friends on and stuff, but we want to try and talk to people that we feel have captivating stories. And
I feel like with that one too, it's a great place for Alex to announce brand partnerships and have like longer conversations. Like when we did the original Chips partnership with Covered Bridge, we had the CEO come on and discuss that. We've had a lot of like with what's another brand partnership that we did that with, but
King
similar
of
stuff.
Donair.
King of Donair,
Supplement
exactly.
King, yeah.
Exactly. So anytime that we have a brand partnership come in, we discuss it there, and then also big East Coast names. So we had Alicia on. We have another one coming up this week. Hopefully, they'll be pretty big. So yeah, it's definitely a quality over quantity type thing. But with Master Keys, like, to be honest, when I signed on with them, I didn't truly really listen a whole lot to the podcast. I had a decent understanding of what they were talking about, but they are so smart, and their podcast is such a good product, and it's so easy to sell. like listening to it, it's funny because me and Tristan will both listen to it, and then we'll both make timestamps for clips, and we'll come back with the same timestamps.
Really?
Like it's almost clear what needs to be promoted, and it's nice because me and Tristan are very like-minded that way. But yeah, we've learned a lot as far as how to promote a podcast, and I definitely feel like I have some like pointers potentially to help you guys grow.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's the thing too is like we're still in a spot where we're trying to grow Uncharted, and like this has been a side project, passion project that's kind of coming into Uncharted now too. It's like we're kind of able to build relationships with the companies that we're working with, and like we're trying to offer that as like a service as well. That it's like, yeah, we can not only just come in and do some content for you, but you can come on the podcast, talk about your brand, have a platform to just kind of spit facts. And that's like for us, I mean, too, there's obviously like a lot of learning curves with like promoting it too. Like I've learned a big lesson of mine is like I was showing what guests we had coming up the next like few weeks, and it's like there's a lot of stuff going on with COVID right now that schedules get changed, and like you know, it's hard to keep up with in that sense. So it's kind of back to like not showing your cards too soon and just kind of like rolling with it as they come.
I agree.
Was like probably my biggest lesson learned so far, aside from like trying to dial in audio, video, get everything all lined up, like the storage, like putting 180 gigabytes into like one spot just to put, right? Like, because we're shooting everything in 4K because we can. But it's funny though. You look on like Impulsive and like Full Send, and they're not uploading in 4K. No. So it's like, why are we doing this? You know, like
you upload in 4K.
Yeah, I'm like ours are like one of the few that are uploaded, like are legit 4K. I know, which that's another lesson learned, right? So like and that's things you notice like on YouTube. It's like you just see that little tag in the corner that says 4K. I was like, why do we have that? But none of these huge platforms are doing that. It's like because it's not they don't need 180 gigabytes to do it, right? But
yeah, and they probably want to save all their raw footage and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, like, and that's the thing too. Like, we've canned a lot of the content we have. We just have the episodes now because we just don't have the storage capacity to hold on to all that stuff, right?
And the odds of us going back and re-editing a podcast.
Yeah, we say that.
From like scratch is almost zero at this point, but at some point we're gonna have to figure that out, and we'll probably be adjusting that. But yeah, it is tough for sure. The storage is an issue.
Yeah, like I think with Master Keys, so BNV records the podcast, and then essentially they send us like a compressed file that like 3 separate files. So they give us the wide camera and both side angles, and then essentially we create the clips from there. But I think with those, like each file is only like 2 gigabytes, so it's nothing crazy. So.
Yeah.
And they're
a dream.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, they're taking the raw footage and exporting it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more manageable because once we get ours down, it's only not 9 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes for like the whole video and everything.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say like priority number 1 would be posting like at least 7 clips from a conversation.
Episode,
and like the way that I do it, because like time is money, especially for us, like when I watch the podcast, I have like a little notepad and then I clip up everything as I watch. So as soon as I find a clip, I nest that sequence, bring it into Premiere, and then start going to work at it.
Yeah, and that's something that I've tried to start doing too a bit. It's like we have a shared note that we have for the podcast on like the iCloud notes, and just like I've watched, obviously as you're editing, you watch it like 4 times, I feel like, before it's even like near completion. And I find myself just kind of being like, okay. Like,
you watch the whole podcast 4 times?
Easily. And like a lot of these conversations are like an hour and 30 minutes. So it's like, it is time consuming. And like, because I mean, like even at the last episode, like we have John Mann on, and like he's on a big platform. So like obviously we're having conversations, and like conversations start to get steered certain ways, and there's not necessarily everything that needs to be in that podcast. Yeah. So trying to figure out what needs to be cut out and what needs, so like that's been a process too. But like I feel like we're starting to definitely get dialed in a little bit. I mean, it's not like we're really derogatory on here at all anyway. So it's not like there's a whole lot of like shit to cut out.
You invited me on here. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah, right.
This episode 11, Brad Up gets canceled.
Yeah, Brad just takes his shirt off again.
Yeah, let's talk about politics. No, but I think like the big thing that we've seen as well that has just grown the podcast so much is just the reels. And this is for...
That's not even just podcasts. That's
every
everything.
medium. Like for probably a year now, that's all I've created as far as video content is reels. And it's crazy to see how the algorithm pushes it so much.
Wild.
Like,
We look at
Master
it-
Keys has under 1,000 followers, and they posted a video the other day, and it got 14,000 views.
Well, that's like even the first clips we did from our first episode. I think mine got like 17,000 views, and it was like not even that like great of a point. It was just like was one of the first clips we put out. Like the first few reels we put out all have like close to 10K, if not over 10K.
Yeah.
And like we just kind of died off because it's like we need to make money. So like we're like focusing a lot of time on Uncharted and just kind of like same thing, lock in some long-term clients. Like obviously you're in with some really good clients right now, and we see that, and it's like we need that. Like that's I'm tired of like the headache of trying to like have all these meetings, and obviously enjoy meeting with people, but there gets to a point where it's like we're having these meetings that aren't really going into anything. So it's like let's build some relationships, let's work with someone, grow their brand from the ground up. So luckily for us, we did that video for the hockey tournament that I was that my family helps kind of put on every year, and being from Lunenburg, obviously I've been in Halifax for the last 8 years, but we've now had lined up 4 meetings with companies in Lunenburg. So it's like it's cool that we're kind of expanding in that way, and it's a lot of those guys out there don't really have a website and definitely don't have Instagram or Reels or anything by any means. So like for us to come in and show that value and show that knowledge and expertise, like that's kind of like
invigorating.
I was gonna say invigorating, but reinvigorating is like for me like it's exciting. Like to know that like I know that I know for you like you're passionate about seeing the growth and like really seeing that like Andy wasn't on TikTok until you came aboard, and now he's got
his TikTok's almost passing his Instagram now.
Right? Yeah, so over there he's like 70K on Instagram or something now, right?
He's at 75. When we first started working with each other a year and a half ago, he was at 41.
Yeah, like that's unbelievable. 35,000 people that just weren't watching before, right?
And his audience is like hyper engaged. They make the recipes, they'll send it to him. Like it's interesting because his Instagram isn't really his whole business. Like his business is truly his food blog. Like his website is where he's going to essentially make the majority of his money, because he's getting in a month over 300,000 visitors looking at it, and that's all Google ad revenue. So
it's his name is so brilliant, man. Like the SEO behind it is like people look up East Coast recipes, they're just like, oh, there you go, right?
But he's awesome, and we've just been focused on Reels for so long, and I've just seen it work, and I think that it's so easily applied to this type of stuff. And to be honest, like I think that this podcast could help grow Uncharted a lot too. Like what you guys could do is you guys have these conversations all the time. Tag yourself as a collaboration post, and then post it with the podcast
first, and then
it just essentially you can showcase who you are. You can showcase what you know, like how you understand the industry, like talk about new clients, talk about this. Like people like seeing the behind the scenes of stuff, and the Reels aspect of it. And then also you've got to put the captions. The captions are so key. 85% of people on their phones don't have the sound on. So it's like you're missing that whole audience if you don't put the captions. And as annoying as they are and as time consuming as they are, it's like they're so valuable. And we see that so much with the Master Keys podcast. Like I'll put in most of the edit is on the captions, to be honest, because we're switching the colors, we're putting in emojis. Like we do a little bit of like cropping and some other overlay effects as well to keep people engaged. But like that type of stuff, like if you scroll through TikTok, that's what you see, you know, in all those viral videos. And we've had one just recently go viral. We had 500,000 views on one recently on TikTok, which was wild. That's like one of the biggest videos that I've done so far. Andy's had one that has done similar numbers before, but it's like, it's an unreal feeling to be like, I made that, you know? And like, I think that the type of content you guys are doing here.
I was just thinking, my biggest video is my Sherbrooke trip with like Sherwood trip to the golf trip with the boys. It's like, of course, right?
Yeah.
But sorry.
And you know, like clients love it too, you know? Like it makes you feel very secure in your position with them because they're pumped. They're like, wow, we got 500,000 engaged views with this. And with Master Keys, it's hilarious because it's with real estate, it's very polarizing. Like it's not.
Especially with what they're talking about.
Oh
with the
my
investment
gosh!
properties
Like
and stuff.
yeah, like people
So much
people will
hate.
comment and will be like, "I can't pay for my groceries. Like this is your fault." It's like what the.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but they as funny as it is, hate comments drives engagement.
Oh yeah,
So it's like
yeah. I know. Like
You know?
I'm sure you saw the podcast that Kyle was on from Nelk,
Yeah.
the Money Buys Happiness.
Yep.
They have merch that says the more you hate, the more I make. It's like which is
true.
like straight up. It's like you're just helping with the algorithm here. It's
it's
like
true, yeah. So it's
We gotta
it's
be
funny.
meaner, I guess.
I mean we can be more raw in there. We'll definitely get some fucking hate
Just
guys.
start shitting on
There's
stuff.
this one
Yeah.
video Andy did, and it's a partnership with Hellman's, and they put a bunch of money behind it, but it's done like 2 million views on TikTok. And so many of the comments are, it's like a Hellman's vegan mayo, and they're all like, "This is so gross." It's like a chocolate cake made of vegan mayo.
yeah,
and
it's like-
everyone's like,
it's
if someone brings this to my birthday, like, kill them.
Yeah, I do like.
Did they not watch the video? I watched that video.
It's good. I had the cake. It
It's
was good.
just it just adds moisture to the cake. It's not
Exactly.
It's still
It's
cake.
hilarious
It's not a
that
mayo
it's-
cake.
I feel like people would be
so
shocked to
People are
find out
so dumb.
how much like mayo's in a lot of things that you wouldn't expect it to be in. I think.
Yeah,
Like,
hate
can't-
comments are hilarious.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of the game with the real estate stuff, but
Well, just social media in general. I mean, like, it's shocking to scroll through the comments and see what people take their time of the day to comment.
Yeah.
It's like you could have went without saying what you said, but like,
yeah,
thanks for the fucking engagement. I mean, obviously we're not on a platform where we're getting any really hate at all.
Yeah.
If anything, we're just getting chirped from our buddies, but that's like, or girlfriends. I don't know, but
Don't know anything about that, eh, right?
No,
Oh,
no.
it sucks.
nice, nice.
yeah, no, but yeah, no, that would be the primary thing that I would suggest. Honestly, is like trying to post like.
You started it. Man. You said it at me. I just flipped it back at you.
I know. The chamber just fucking ready to
God
come
damn
back.
Oh well.
But yeah, I would say reels should be like the number one priority, and then just like trying to stay consistent. I think another big thing that why Master Keys works is the podcast can survive on its own without guests. And I think that,
those guys are so well, like, a caring conversation, and they're so knowledgeable in what they're talking about, too,
I think
right?
that's,
You can just
like-
tell with how they're delivering it, like...
I think that's like there's an opportunity for like you guys to like do a similar thing, like even if it's like talking about news or whatever.
What's up?
This is Joel.
Yeah, he rolled in. What's going on?
Oh,
What's up?
Okay, what were we... Yeah, talking just Master Keys. Those guys are definitely, like, experts at what they do. You can just... That's one thing, too, like, I find, like, we're getting better at, like, holding a conversation, and, like,
Yeah.
that's... comes with knowledge and expertise, I find. It's not
Yeah.
something you can bullshit. You just kind of
Yeah.
sound like an idiot the more you talk, like...
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of opportunity for you guys to like even discuss trends that are happening in the media space, talk about like your client work. Like I think that this could be a weekly show if it can exist with just you guys, you know. I think that's a huge big part of a lot of successful podcasts. Like Joe Rogan is clearly obviously a guest driven show.
yeah.
But it didn't start out that way.
No,
It started
just
out
him
with
and
him
talking
and
in studio,
Ari
yeah.
just literally
Talking in
getting
studio.
high as they could possibly get.
Yeah.
And
And just breaking down conversations, yeah.
So
No,
I think there's a huge opportunity for you guys to be able to grow and keep it weekly because like just as you know, like you said, like there's always a new episode, like full send.
Yeah.
Like they're the biggest podcast
Yeah.
basically going right now. And they do it every single Wednesday.
Yeah.
So if you have that day that people know, you know, oh, they're going to drop that podcast again, it's so much easier for it to build up and grow because they're expecting it.
Yeah.
So I think guest-driven podcasting is like obviously bomb, but I think if you guys could have this survive just being you guys having chats.
Yeah, and like I've talked about that too, that I think I was like, we should just, even if we hit over guests that week, just sit
Chop
down
it up.
and it's like, Kyle will sit down and just record you editing a photo and just like break it down, talk about what you're doing. Because like the
Yeah.
general public doesn't know how to do that. And like a lot of
Yeah.
people, so I don't know, like Charlie shared something on Twitter today of just like Photoshop. It was like this quick little tool that just, he's like, wow, this literally saves like hours off my life. And it's like even little things like that, just like to showcase that what you're doing and how you're doing it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it's tough that you're like, I know it's like it comes with like that streamer mentality where like you have to be able to be good at like saying what you're thinking and talking about it and like delivering it to like a crowd. But like that's something too that I was like, I definitely think that like we can easily do just the two of us. And it's like something that's coming with more episodes too. Like I said, like we're more comfortable now. It's like it's not so much as like, oh fuck, the lights are on, the cameras are on. It's just like they're on and we're here and just kind of record what's going on and put it
That's
together.
half
after,
of it
right?
too,
Like,
is just getting comfortable. Like it's like that's why anytime I have the chance to be in front of the camera, I try to say yes, even though I'm like not the most comfortable person in front of the camera. I'm like, the more I do it, the better I'll get at it.
100%, dude.
So
And that's even
kind
like,
of
you'll always
mentality.
throw up, like, looking for modeling stuff. It's like, I'm available. It's like, I know you probably don't want this mug on camera, but I'm there.
I was just gonna say, keep getting better at it, because I'm gonna call in that favor one day.
Hey, the favor's coming. We
need you
got
to
one in the bank.
step
We got
up.
a favor in the bank. I know we got a favor in the bank. I know.
calls me. What are you doing right now?
Dude, like,
Tell Joe Biden right now.
it's so hard. We're actually like completely shifting a lot of marketing with East Coast, which is pretty cool. Like, if you just look at the analytics of those modeling shoots, they don't nearly perform well as some of like the lifestyle-esque videos. So we're leaning more towards that. So we just did like a recent beach hike video. We just did actually like a rock climbing bouldering video. I'll show it to you guys after. It's pretty sweet. And even like the video that we did the other day, of just literally with the phone walking through the flagship store with
transitions.
just small transitions. Like, it's one of the most viewed video on their feed that's an ad. Which is like what you want. I feel like some people feel like even like me being like, Alex, I think we should do this with the phone. I think it's going to do better. I'm glad that I work with him because he has that trust in me. And he's like, all right. He's like, let's give it a go. He's like, I could kind of see that. He was like, oh, it probably will look better with
Because in his mind, he's
camera.
like, I'm paying you X amount a week. Like, why are we going to, like, I could use my iPhone. But that's like, when he's not going to create that
But
creative
then you
transition.
do that one time and you show them, hey, this is what's possible with, you know, my skills with a camera applied to a phone. It's like, he's not going to question that again.
No.
You know? And then I think with businesses too, like, people like that look of a phone look. So if you can apply your skills that you have with the camera to the phone with a gimbal, like, I never thought I'd be the guy buying a phone gimbal. I was like at Best Buy, I was like cringing. I was literally cringing.
Like, why am I doing this?
But
right
it was
now?
great, you know. And
I started on a phone gimbal too. Like I had one of those before I even had like a good video camera. I was on my Nikon like D7100 or whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna get a gimbal, but I don't need it for this camera because the shoot's like it's not a good look. But yeah, no, it's hard to be like, I've invested so much and I'm still just using this, but like this is also so far ahead of what, like, it's so capable of whatever you want to do. You know,
the
like,
algorithm pushes it too.
Yeah.
Like the algorithm likes
organic,
that
right?
that authentic raw look of a phone. But it goes both ways. So like these like little lifestyle-esque videos that we're going to be doing instead of the modeling shoots, like those being high quality, they're going to perform well. And we've had, their biggest video that we've ever done was the Bauer video, the outdoor ice rink one. That did like 100K impressions, which was like by far the most. And it was an ad, which is like huge. Because if you look at some of the other ones, they're doing like a bad video would be like 11,000. And that's traditionally those modeling ones. So we're kind of stepping away from it, kind of doing the subtle hints of the clothing. But
they also get like, I
modeling.
think it's also like the modeling ones kind of get redundant after a while too, that it's like, oh, another one of people looking away.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, it's so like free to shake it up and just like do a rock climbing video. Like that's like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I got my buddy who has a FPV drone and I was like, you gotta come out. So he's like going so close to like the dude, it's awesome.
Kieran or
No,
no?
it's Stephen Bradbury. I
Okay.
don't know if you.
No,
he was actually my old roommate, and when I used to live there, we.
On Jubilee when you lived over there. Okay.
Yeah. So he's basically like just wants to do FPV drones, and
It's smart because it's one of those things.
It is smart, but and this is actually a topic that I wanted to talk about on the podcast. Is just like I'm not a fan of people like boxing themselves into a niche. Like I feel like that's been my biggest strength as far as my growth is like I never say no to an opportunity. Like with the Master Keys, never promoted a podcast, never really made clips that way, never did any of that stuff, but I said yes. With Andy, I never even really did food photography before.
Right.
I didn't even do food photography,
it's-
and I reached out to him, and I was like, we can do it. Like, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. And now I would consider myself almost a food stylist, which is like hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it helps that the food's great and he's curating it so well.
Yeah.
But like to learn and go, like,
Yeah.
it comes back to like the first episode we had. We were talking. It's like that willingness to just like keep trying to learn and trying to progress. In
Exactly, and just
I know,
even
like-
with East Coast Lifestyle, like I never even did photos before with East Coast Lifestyle.
And like on the other side of that though, Brad, like to say I feel like if for him to dial in and just do FPV,
yeah,
I feel like it's more than just like that's something you still can constantly improve at. Like
Yeah.
you watch some of these guys the way they fly those things, like
it's crazy.
it's wild to see some of
Yeah.
the shots that they get, and like
Yeah.
so like I can understand in that
Oh, for
regard
sure.
that like that's why he's like
He's really passionate about
yeah,
it too.
and
So
like-
I get it.
yeah, it's like it's unreal too. You see like there's guys that just do that, and there's the guy that's doing all the stuff for like the Masters. He's doing stuff for the
Yeah.
NHL, the NFL. Like he's
Yeah.
the guy for all these platforms, and it's like to
Yeah.
me it's like that's fucking unbelievable. Like,
Oh yeah, it's bomb. It's
to be the first thought when like the NFL's like, oh, we got the Super Bowl coming up. Who's gonna do our one shot? And they're like, oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna hit up like whatever. I don't even know what his name is, but like
I think I know
Johnny
what you're
something
talking
or
about.
something.
Yeah,
I don't
Johnny
know.
F.
Bird or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's like incredible. Like doing
Yeah.
something with Rory, like chasing the ball in the air,
Yeah.
like while he's shooting it, like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I definitely would say like with local creators over here, I do feel like people do put themselves in a box. Like I had a conversation the other day with a photographer who works for a company full time here, and they were essentially saying that like they were like really unhappy with what they were doing and they wanted to grow, but at the same time they were like unwilling to learn video and like unwilling to adapt.
Like the inability to try and adapt, I can understand too, because like
Yeah.
thinking back to when you first start out, it's like you're definitely like a little like ambitious to post right away,
Yeah.
and that you once you start to post and people start to notice, I find you start to become a little bit more like protective over what you're posting because you want it to be top tier, and like so I can understand that like some people. You start out and like if you get really good at photos and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna move into video, and then you're putting out trash videos, people are gonna be like, oh, he's actually not that good, you know, like that mindset. It comes back to that reminder of just like creating for yourself and
Yeah.
like always constantly trying to better yourself, and like obviously it's like I'm sure you're the same way, I know Kyle is too, that like when you put out a video, you look at it the day you put it out, you're like, that is unbelievable. You look at it next week, you're like, that's not nearly as good as this one, you know, like it's
Because you're getting better all
yeah,
the time.
so it's like it's once you get in that mindset of being like, oh, it's better than the one I did last week, I should probably keep doing them so that they keep getting better. You're more likely to kind of adapt and be like, I'm gonna dabble more in video now, or I'm gonna dabble more in audio now, or no, like you kind of
Yeah.
expand your horizon a bit.
Yeah. I think honestly like another key to the success that I've had has been like just creating so much. Like making in a week like now we're at like 12 videos a week, like 12 short clips, you know? And with every single edit I get that much quicker, and my systems, especially with Andy's
Workflow.
stuff, it's like it's just down to a science. And with East Coast, it's been a little bit different because we've been switching it up, and Master Keys, similar type of thing. But yeah, it's like that constant grind of constantly producing, constantly putting something out has definitely been like the key to my success.
Big time.
It's just like taking on as much as I can chew. And honestly, like at sometimes it's too much.
Yeah, it's, you definitely. There's times you bite off more. But it's you kind of rally, right? And like
Yeah.
you figure out a way to make it happen. And if you don't, then it's like, okay,
Yeah.
won't do that again. Like
Yeah.
it's still taking a lesson away from it in some way, right? Like
Yeah. But I think the adapting part is such a big part, and like trying to keep up to date with like all the new trends, all the new sounds, like, oh, the new Jack Harlow song is big right now, like we got to use that in all of our videos, or oh, this is big, the new Harry Styles video. So it's like constantly knowing the sounds that are big and being ear to the ground for your clients essentially.
And that's it's tough too, because it's like I mean, we literally live in like TikTok references, but it's like but we're still not able to keep up with the trends. You know what I mean? Like we're always able, like we're watching, consuming, but like to produce it is like a totally different level. That it's like
Yeah.
trying to go look for that sound. Which sound's actually working right now? Which sound worked this week, but isn't going to work next week?
Yeah.
You know, like trying to stay relevant is definitely tough, especially with like you said, you're creating 12 small reels a week. Like that's so much content. Like, and that just like consumed that day, that week, and is just like gone. Like
I know,
and you have
and
to
that's
keep
and that is such a key part, Stroby, because I feel like some creators spend so much time and effort on one video and one clip,
perfect, right?
You realistically don't need it to be perfect. Like you can edit a video in an hour and have it at a high quality that you like, instead of rewatching it over and over and changing this little thing and changing that little thing. Like if you think it's a high quality clip and you send it off to the client and they agree, it's like if you spend 5 hours on it or 1 hour on it, at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is going. And then they scroll right by.
Nobody's looking at it under the same scope that you are, right?
So
like,
I think that's a huge component to having like retainer work, because you have that ability to create so many more pieces of content than a traditional one-off deal, and they get so much more value out of it.
Yeah, I mean 100%. And like on that though, it's like I go back to saying it's like we're looking at working with companies in Lunenburg, and like these companies I don't really like. I feel like everyone can benefit from Reels, but there's also a side of it that it's like they don't really need it. Like for example, we're going to be doing work with like a floating dock company, and like to some degree that'll do very well on like TikTok or Reels, like showing the whole process. But like, do they need 12 Reels a week or like X amount of Reels a week? Like, you know, like trying to figure out that structure for us has been like, to me, has been like the next thing we're trying to kind of figure out right now.
It's like the first thing I would think of that is like, who is their audience?
Right.
Is like, is their audience even on TikTok?
And
who are going to buy those things?
We don't know, because like most of these companies are been using word of mouth, because like they're not on social media yet. They don't have websites. Like so, we're looking at like literally bare bones building the skeleton of these companies as far as a brand goes, and then discovering what works, what doesn't. So like it's tough to kind of I feel like you have to really over deliver to get going. So people are kind of like surprised and delighted, and that way you can kind of like be like, yeah, that's what we did in this amount of time. This is what we can do with this much scope. Like,
I think definitely doing like a good market analysis of like who the audience is, like whatever the clients is, like with Master Keys, like the people who are going to be watching podcasts are on TikTok and there are on Instagram. So I see an opportunity there where I'm like, okay, we can use these as leverage to bring people in, but let's say a business-to-business organization is like, hey, I would like to do work with you. It's like, I almost would turn it down because I don't think I can deliver what they're really looking for. Like if they're like, oh, I want you to grow my company, it's like, well, me making TikToks and me making Instagram videos, your audience isn't watching there. So it's like knowing the audience, knowing the customers, and being able to find clients that like that's where their audiences are. Like I see like car dealerships around here as like such a huge opportunity. Like huge opportunity.
Absolutely. And like even like
restaurants.
Like development too, like development properties. Like I know we talked with Marshall, like Marshall sells Hallie, his thing on Instagram is, but he's like he really wanted to like focus on like showcasing these buildings, because you see these holes in the ground all over Halifax and you have no idea what they are until you see the picture on the wall. And even to that degree, you still don't really know what's to come. And there's so many like untapped. I mean, Halifax as a whole really is like the content that's coming out right now. Like we know majority of the guys that are producing it, because it's a small knit community, and like you can obviously tell different styles and stuff, but like it's still so new and untapped that it's like it's exciting to kind of be the front runners in some way. Like, and that's I'm saying that in like not in like a cocky way at all, but it's like we're relevant and we're like having these meetings with these companies, so like we're definitely in the conversation to some degree. So like it's exciting to kind of be on the ground building it with these companies, and not just like doing one-offs, or you know what I mean? Like
I see clubs as a huge opportunity. Like they need content all the time. I see so many clubs just posting static images. It's like they could have a reel every single day of someone going around with a phone gimbal and just having amazing edits. Like
100%.
That's a huge opportunity. Like I feel like I'm so busy with shit right now. I'm just like I can't really like expand too much, but I see so many opportunities for retainer work, and obviously I'm super blessed with who I'm working with now. Like, to be honest, I don't even know exactly who I would go to if it wasn't for Alex and Andy and now the Master Keys. But there's a lot of opportunity, I feel like, out there for retainer work. It's just like going out and seeking it, which is a huge part in delivering that value.
We're back in that kind of wheelhouse too. That like Colin and I've been talking. It's like most of our work hasn't really ever been. There's word of mouth element to it some, but there's also been a big outreach. Like they're spamming the messages, just messaging the bars and like companies you want to work with, and like going back to that kind of like starting steps. So
and it sucks too because you want people to come to you.
Yeah, and like it doesn't happen. Like it's it doesn't sometimes, and usually only really happens, I find personally, like in conversation. It's never like someone like reaching out over Instagram being like, "Yo, love your stuff. Like let's work together." It's more so like running into someone and being like, "I love what you do. Like we should set up a meeting," and like setting it up that way. So like
I find it's, and I think that this is even true for us, is that a lot of companies, especially smaller ones, they got so much on the go already, and maybe they're thinking about marketing a little bit, but all of a sudden, they have it in their plan that week to like find someone to do some work for them, and something happens because they have to go fix this or do that or whatever, and it's like, it's almost like they have so much on their plate already that they're not going to be the ones to reach out. Yeah. They need someone to reach out to them and say, this is what we can do for you, and they just need to just sign off on it, right?
And then,
so it's like,
and maybe that's an opportunity for you guys to grow and bring someone on potentially to like do sales.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the huge, and you've done sales before.
And we say that, but like right now, that's definitely like I enjoy. That's my like I enjoy that. I love building relationships and like connecting with new people, and like Kyle's definitely been like his workflow is like dialed in now. He can pump out like 3 Thunderbirds videos in a day if he needs to. Like it's like so like it's
that's a good point. I was thinking about that when you were talking about just doing more shit. It's like this year I found I've done so many like so much Thunderbirds content relative to like my before.
Right.
Yeah.
Along with like we did a bunch of videos for Football Nova Scotia, like a bunch of stuff that it's just like when there's so many things going on, you just, and I'm the type of brain too, and I've watched you work, you're the same way, is like I need to know the easiest way to do everything. Like I need to know the shortcut. I need to know like because
I'm like the worst.
But it adds up.
I'm like
it's
the opposite of it too.
Well, I guess I want you. You're stressing me out a little
bit. The thing with me is like I didn't even really do too much of like YouTube tutorials with Premiere. Like when I started using Premiere, I was like 13 pirating it online. So it's like I'm so self-taught that like it was funny when we were editing together because you'd be like, why are you doing it this way? Like you could do it this way. Yeah.
Just do
hotkeys.
I'm like
you feel like such an idiot.
So
I have a couple of hotkeys. I know how to cut. I know how to cut. And I can Command Z.
Yeah, you guys stress me out.
I got a couple
It's
hotkeys.
hilarious though too because
I click a lot.
Kyle's not in Final Cut, and like I'll be sitting editing, and he'll just like look over and be like, after a while, he'll sit and watch like a tutorial and be like, try it this way. It's like.
I'm watching his Final Cut tutorial.
And I'm like obviously like I'm also like self-taught. Like I always, whenever I don't know an answer, I just type in that question into YouTube or Google and it's there. But there's things that I've just been doing over the past like 10 years of editing that it's like, that's how you do it. Like, because I know how to do it that way. And then Kyle will sit and watch, be like, bro, you're adding like 30 minutes to an hour to your workflow.
It just adds up.
Yeah, you know, like.
You know, when you want to push out content quickly, it's like,
Emma Rose.
Oh, yep. Actually, welcome to the pod. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Emma, do you have any questions for our guest?
I'm so sorry.
For Brad?
You got a guess? You got a question for me?
Okay, I'll text you.
That's not a question.
Sounds good.
There's no good questions.
Thanks, bye.
Like, anyway, so once you start having to like push out a lot more content and a lot quicker, it's like that's just how my brain works. It's like I don't want to be messing around with stuff that I can just do in one click. So
on that point too, like I feel like we've really like we've had an unspoken like kind of like Kyle's done a lot of the video editing the last year, and like I feel like I've done a lot of like the outreach the last year, and it's like it's one of those things that I feel like we're slowly realizing that we don't need to both be sitting editing at this, like to feel like we're working. Like there's been so many times I just feel guilty as hell that like I'm sitting watching Kyle edit a video that I know that I should probably be editing or like could be editing to like give him something else to do, but it's like it's really helped us like really hone in our niche and our style. I feel like I've definitely. Like Kyle will be sitting editing something, I'll just be like, "What? Like you should try this. Like it'll make it more like tracking his head will make it more impactful. And like his editing has like come so quickly, like is like unbelievable now.
Yeah.
So it's like now I'm trying to find my role in being like, okay, I am the sales guy. I have to get us clients. I want this train to keep moving. So it's like figuring out those roles. Like I know obviously you're on your own, so like you are extremely fortunate to be with the clients that you're with.
Yeah.
But like I really enjoy building those relationships, and I feel I said to Kyle, it's like I'm gonna start scheduling like more meetings and calls, like because say we have 15 calls in a week, you don't know what's gonna come out of like two or three of those conversations, you know, like so even like I know I was saying at the start, being like I'm tired of these like conversations that don't lead into anything. I'm gonna start scheduling more because it's not only gonna make me better at selling our product, but there's gonna be more opportunities that we may not have known that were out there, right?
So it's dialing in that pitch too. I feel like too. It's
and like just showcasing your value, and like we talked with Matt Smith about that on the. I feel like we've talked about that on every podcast, no matter who it is. It's like how do you like monetize your knowledge and expertise and value, right? Like, and how not only do that, but showcase that to someone who's been spending like $5,000 on a marketing campaign when they could really spend like $5,000 over a 5-month period, you know, or like you know what I mean, like not like. That's actually no, like $5,000 over 5 months is terrible. Like, you know what I mean, though. Just like showcasing that there's more value to like pushing out reels than there is to put like a 3-week about the brand video out. Like, you know what I mean, like
it's those small one-off videos. I feel like now with social media, it's just like they don't hit like they used to, and like there's so much video content now that if you have a super slow entrance clip that like people are already swiped away. They're already gone.
you need that.
It's so fast chops now. Like that's what I've been finding with all of our work that has been performing better. It's like each video, like each clip has to be like 2 seconds, and then it's on to the next. 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 And like you can't have that slow entrance shot, or you can't do because people are gone.
But you also like with that still have to tell a story. So like it's tough to be like, okay, I have 6 seconds, I have 3 clips I got to put in those 6 seconds. What's going to establish and keep someone on the screen right now? You know,
so this is something that I've really learned recently, and I'll show you through our Master Keys TikTok. We post this is a hack for any TikTok creator, Instagram creator, a way to get views essentially. So we posted one clip. And it's the exact same clip as the other one. Actually, we deleted it. But essentially, it has a call to action on the end of the video on TikTok. Automatically, the TikTok algorithm will censor that content. So on TikTok, you can't promote leaving the app. So if you say, go to our YouTube, go to our website, go do this, go do that, they will cancel your video essentially and crumble your views. So what you have to do is keep people in the app by not telling them to leave. And essentially all that TikTok is really good for is awareness. So you're not going to get conversion. You're not going to get people essentially clicking on your YouTube link, but they're going to know your face, and they're going to potentially follow you. And then hopefully you can push them to Instagram where you can get that conversion. That's where you can get the conversion. But on TikTok, you can't do it. Also, you need captions on TikTok. That's a huge other part of it. And as well, you need to have a title bar giving context to your clip. That has been like a huge game changer for us with Master Keys and now with Andy, is if you don't give that initial title sequence or that initial title giving context, the views crumble. So our video that did 500,000 views, we posted it 20 minutes before that had a call to action and only got 4,000 views. The exact same clip. So that's a huge thing that any content creator can apply to their own TikTok, their clients' TikToks. It's like, do not ask them to leave the app or else they will crumble your views.
I feel like that's why like part 1, part 2 perform so well, right? Because it's not only keeping you in the app, it's pushing you to your profile. And like, and like there's people that don't even put out like a part 2.
So annoying.
So it's so annoying. You're like
Yeah.
just sit and watch this video, and it's like for part 2, and you're like you go look, and there's no, you have to scroll through their whole feed to find, you know, like.
So
It's funny
so
because
this
like we know that's why
Yeah,
they're doing
yeah.
but
it.
like as a
still
consumer,
hate it.
it's like it's like you. That's how you consume. But like producing it, like you need to really.
you need to know that stuff.
Yeah.
Like even the title sequence here. So we're talking about another rate hike, exact same clip as that one. The only difference is we gave context with the title bar, and we got 2,000 views on that one and 25,000 on that one. So it's just those small changes that you can apply to TikToks that boost engagement so much. It's just like giving the algorithm essentially what it wants, finding out what it wants, and it wants title bars.
Hate how the algorithm just becomes more like human as
Yeah.
I was
as
going to
we
say
go,
it's like
well,
it's not even really like to me, like this is like
It's a little
like
bit
a
creepy
hot take
almost.
and kind of a weird way to look at it, but it's not even an algorithm. It's how the human consumes the content, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like
yeah.
that's something I feel like we've like I personally feel like I'm good at is that before I do something, I'm like thinking how is this going to be consumed. Like if this was me, would I scroll past this? And like 90% of the time, like yeah, probably I would. So it's like trying to figure out what's going to keep them there and
Yeah.
what's going to like push them back to.
You need a hook. You need a hook at the beginning of the video, whatever that is. So like with Andy's stuff, we always give like the why behind the video. So it's like, why would you want to make this? So it's like, this is perfect for a family dinner. This is perfect for your school box snacks. We always give a why, and then now we're doing the title of what the recipe is. So essentially in that first 2 seconds, you know what it's about and you know why.
Yeah.
And then boom, you're hooked.
Yeah.
So that's how we've been blowing up his channel, is essentially just having, and then people like seeing the process of stuff too, like Fades by Fish, he's a perfect example.
Yeah.
It's like I got in there and he had 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh, who?
Yeah, oh yeah, I got to go there for 420 actually.
Oh, dude.
I feel like a quarter.
I was gonna do a shoot for him this morning actually.
Yeah,
He did some
so
content
so
for him.
he essentially, he had 1,000 followers on Instagram, and I was like,
He's up to like almost 6 now.
he's almost up to 6,
Yeah.
and he's working with brands now, and
Yeah,
I was like,
I just set him up with Red Bull too. I'm fine
yeah,
for that.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
dude, I was like, people like seeing the process of stuff. They want to see a haircut at the beginning and the haircut
Yeah.
at the end. And if you can visually show them in a cool way, like that brings so many opportunities
Yeah.
for barber companies that want that same content.
He's got like a full, literally his whole setup now is all just free, right? Like
Yeah.
he's like a brand ambassador for like his clippers now, and like
Yeah.
I was like, that's like, he's like, that was a goal of mine. I was like, well, what's the next goal? Like I was like, because I was like, that's you nailed that so quickly, like.
Yeah, it's trying to grow. Yeah, I like going in for appointments. I mean, anybody who talks content, I'll talk content all
Dude,
day long.
I know it's the whole conversation's just like how should I do this? How should I
Yeah.
do that? And I love it, like because he's so passionate about it too, and
Yeah.
like he's also one of those guys that I was like, he'll see someone else trying to like another barber trying to push content, and he's all for it. Like
Yeah.
he's like it's only going to keep bringing us up, and like that's
Yeah.
how like all of us work. That it's
Yeah.
like Kyle and I always say it's like how are we all friends? We're all direct competitors.
Why
Like,
is Brad on the podcast?
Yeah.
That's why I
Brad's
asked
here
him.
getting so much clip content right now. It's like
excited.
but it's like I'm for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna post it, you're gonna
Yeah.
tag us. We're all gonna fucking benefit. You know, like figuring out that it's like one goes, we all go kind of mentality is like the
Yeah.
biggest eye-opening thing you can do. Like it's like just giving opportunity and like sharing it. Like you know, like there's obviously a time and a place for like. Not necessarily like watering someone else's grass,
Yeah.
you know, and like really making sure that your lawn's taken care of. But there's also times where it's like, well, let's grow the acres here, you know.
I
Let's
like
get
it.
some
I
more-
like
let's
it.
get some
I
real
love
estate.
helping out people and like giving ideas. Like I want to see everybody win. You know, I think
Yeah.
there's so much opportunity out there that is so untapped that I'm like, I don't care. I'll tell you guys my secrets. You know, like
Yeah.
I see opportunities even with like the harvest stuff you guys do. It's like you can do so many more reels. I feel like of even just like showing the process of something, how it's built, like the start to end. Like people love seeing something at the beginning that is nothing, and then seeing at the end where it's something. And I think that with
We're actually doing one of those for Burger Week. Well, it's already done.
exactly,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. So that type of content, trying to keep it very choppy,
Yeah, check that.
and then
email.
also make sure you have that title at the beginning. Like this is how you make this burger or whatever, essentially. So. Title, hook, story, show the process. You guys are like worried about work now.
I don't know. What are you?
What? Why are you? I don't know. What are you looking at me like that for?
There's an email. I don't know. What kind
No, I was looking to see because like Burger Bash. I saw like Regan posted like looking for Burger Bash
of-
ambassadors.
Oh, true.
I emailed yesterday. I was like, Absolutely. The two of us are perfect for that.
Who's got 4 thumbs and love burgers?
Yeah. These guys. Yeah. But yeah, no, so we're hoping that fucking comes into something. But yeah, that was my brainwave on that when you said Burger Week. But
Yeah. But yeah, that's like, I think one thing though is like you can apply that hook sequence to this stuff.
the hook, yeah.
You know, you put the best, exactly what we do with Master Keys. It's like the formula that I've learned that works with Andy's stuff. We just transfer it over to Master Keys, and you can transfer it over to this. It's like, what do people want to hear about? Is like, I feel like news is such a big topical thing that can be promoted so much. Like the algorithm will pick up little things that you talk about. If you even say Moncton, it'll promote the video in Moncton.
Yeah.
We had a huge outreach from one Moncton video.
Moncton, Dieppe, Ontario.
Yeah, exactly. Canada.
New York, Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Our video the other day that did
Vancouver.
the other day when we did the video that did 500,000, it's because I feel like it's because we said Canada. So it promoted it to all of Canada.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Halifax is such a hot topic too for real estate right now too, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's like not in Halifax, just Nova Scotia
Everywhere,
as a whole.
dude.
Like,
Everywhere in the world.
True, yeah.
New York, everything.
Yeah.
It's a very precious bubble that's gonna pop, I think, soon. But I think it's I think to be successful at selling and trading NFTs, it's the exact same as the stock market. It's the exact same as crypto. It's the exact same really in any type of investment game. Is you have to really put in the hours and you have to really dedicate yourself to that investment and educating yourself around it, because that's the only way to really be successful with it. I feel like if you have the mentality of like almost like doing it on the side or like not being like fully invested into like a community or something, like it's such an easy place. Like I found myself, I lost a lot of money in NFTs. I'm glad I at least dove into it, and I'm still like looking at projects, but to do it for like, to actually make money, it's tough. It's tough.
You gotta be dialed in on it.
You have to be on the white list. You have to be so ear to the ground. It's like it's almost a full-time job to
And you
really
gotta
be
get-
successful.
which it can be
You
too,
gotta-
right? Like it's like
you
you
People
can
do
make,
it.
you can make a
Yeah.
salary off that. Like,
You can make a salary off of the stock market. You can make.
but it comes with anything though, right? Like
Yep.
it's really it can be translated in any aspect.
Exactly.
You know, it's like if you put the time in, if you're actually putting the hours, you'll see it through. Like.
Yeah.
I know we talked with John in the last podcast, and he's like, I've seen so many guys like enter the marketing field, like in I'll say marketing, like it's like the creative field, and be like, if I don't make it by 30, then I'll just go to something else. And it's like I know that none of us have that mentality in this room right now, like because you're kind of setting yourself up, you're giving yourself an end date, and it's not like it's a due date, it's an end date, and it's like if I'm so it's like I don't.
And how do you even measure that
Right,
success?
right.
Like, what's
And it's
the
like
bar?
because there's always so much,
It's always gonna
there's
change.
always so,
Dude,
so
it's
many
so
like
bad.
wins that like you're like fuck yeah, like this is the one, and then it's like okay, that's done, and now that's passed and that's over. It's like what's next, right? Like it's always that what's next, and like
Dude, there's so that's I can't relate to something so much more, because like I feel like right now it's like I'm almost at pretty close to capacity, and I still feel so unfulfilled. I'm like, I still feel like I have so much more to do, and like I want to grow it so much more, even though I'm in a place where like I would have never imagined me being in
No,
a
dude.
year and a half of business.
no, you used to be balancing my gimbal.
I,
Right?
exactly, man, exactly. It's true. It's like the first little bit, man. I would make a video for a company and just send it to them and be like, if you want to post it, post it. I made it anyways.
I think it's because of that too that like people are into it. Like they see, they're like, holy, like.
I was
You know,
posting a video a day for a while during the first lockdown, and it's just I'm fortunate to obviously like have people around me who were supportive and gave me I did videos for like $100. I was doing anything at a certain point, and just to develop my skills. And now like if I look back at some of those original East Coast lifestyle videos, they were trash.
Yeah, well, that's
They
like
were
I
bad.
don't think I've ever done something for East Coast that I've actually like enjoyed. You know, like it's
Yeah.
like it's because you have this. It also you have this self expectation that you're comparing your shit to fucking Osgod. You know,
Yeah.
like it's like and it's one of those things that's like you want to like compare yourself in the sense that you're like setting that bar high for yourself, but
Yeah.
when you don't achieve that, it's like kind of like brings you down a little bit.
Comparison is the thief of all joy.
Yeah.
It's like
Love
if
that,
you
yeah.
if you look at like I look at some other creators and they're doing so many other things. Like if you, it's hard to like even me. Like I feel like I'm successful at 24 years old, but if I compare myself to Alex when he was 22, Alex was meeting Obama and had a multi-million-dollar company when he was 22. So it's like am I successful?
But like, imagine that. How does that guy have his what's next? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you meet Obama, and it's like, that's the one, that's the win, and then it's like, that's just another stepping
he's
stone.
hungry.
Yeah,
He's
no.
hungry at it. I think that's like I think comparison is truly the thief of all joy, and like looking at what Drifter is doing. If you look at anybody, like even Joel's just in New York. It's like I could be pissed off being like, oh man, I'm just in here in Halifax. Like Joel's traveling the world, doing all this stuff.
Podcast.
He's meeting rappers. It's like, oh, like I'm doing whatever. You'd be here in Halifax. It's like you can always compare yourself to people in other situations. It's just a matter of like staying locked in, staying focused on what you're doing, and building on that. I think that's been a huge key to what I've been doing.
and
Like
like,
trying not to block everything else out and focus on, all right, let's make the best cooking video possible. Let's try to drive engagement. What worked with this? What worked didn't? It's like I'm not truly really looking at a lot of other food creators and what they're doing. It's like what's working for us? How do we want to do this? So yeah, comparison is the thief of all joy.
It is tough. It is tough for sure.
Like, what are you looking at me for?
You guys gonna kiss or what?
Are we gonna do this?
Two best friends in a room.
I
They
just,
like
yeah,
this.
no, I just was talking a lot. I thought you were gonna take that one.
No, I don't know. I think to not be a downer, but I feel like personally I have been struggling with that a lot lately, Brad, with what you're saying. It's just like,
Comparison?
yeah, just I don't know.
But that's all- like,
it's
it's-
hard to not, you know.
It is hard not to compare.
Don't like I definitely used to look at it as like comparison and being
Yeah.
like, fuck, like why is he getting that opportunity? Like I'm putting in the work. Why am I not getting it? Then I'll get an opportunity and not even think about that, you know. But like, you have to like kind of transition and be like, no, it's a motivator. Like, look, this guy's grinding. He's putting in the hours and like it's working for him. So it's like I got to do the same thing.
And there's a blueprint. You
Yeah.
know, there's a blueprint to how it works. It's like creating videos all the time.
Yeah.
Like if
You
you
put in the
have
work.
downtime, like you guys have this podcast, it's like literally make 30 clips. Make 30 clips. Learn how to do captions as fast as you possibly
Brad's
can.
volunteering to do 30 clips for us. Did you hear that?
Imagine. I can barely do my own clips. I got clips that I got to do tonight. But yeah, I
But
think
no, it's true. And like I said, it's like it comes. I would say it comes back to, but it's like nobody will celebrate with you until you've already done it. So it's like you need to just keep doing it, and then eventually it'll come fruition, and the hard work will pay off, right? Like.
Yeah.
None of us live an overly stressful life. I feel right now. It's like because we are so passionate about what we do. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously to some degree,
like sweating.
yeah. No, I'm like, buddy, look at my palms of my hands. But like, it's like it never feels like work. You know, it's always trying to better your own skill set. Is like how I just perceive it. It's like I'm always just trying to not only better myself, but better my company, which will better my partner, which will better his quality of life. Like, always just continuing to like nose down, hammer down, blinders on, like you said, and just keep pushing. And it'll happen. Like, it's like, I know like in our industry, I feel like there's a lot of people that are like waiting for that opportunity. But it's like, I've been at the, like, me personally.
You got to create opportunities.
Yeah, it's like I've been at this for like, fuck, I don't even know, like 6-7 years now it feels like, and like there's still hasn't been. I still don't feel like I've made it by any means, but like I'm paying my bills.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying my time here. Like it'll hopefully keep growing in that direction. That like I'll be able to afford a house and grow a family and all this stuff. But like there's never been like a fuck yeah, I made it. There's always a sense of uneasiness that it's like, well, I can be doing this better.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I have that
Yeah,
still,
and
you
that's what
know,
I
and
mean,
it's
right?
that,
Like,
that's
I don't think it's ever gonna go away.
I think that's key. I think that's key to always have that and like really not have that moment of like if you hear ultra successful people, people ask them, they're like, what was that
it moment?
Yeah. And so many people are like, there wasn't an it moment. There was just constant moving up
Small
and
wins,
up and
right?
up and
Like,
small wins that
brick by brick, you know,
Yeah.
you build that wall eventually.
Your small
right?
wins just become really big wins, but they just feel small.
Well, they're small. Like like for Alex, his win in a day would be like not even like remotely comparable to what a win would be for us. You know what I mean? Like you met fucking Obama, and like.
comparison is the thief of all joy.
But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm
You
saying.
gotta take
though.
your
It's like,
wins. You gotta take your wins. When I signed
wins are
around
different than his wins,
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
you have to really separate the two and be like, just because social media exists and I can witness his wins and the work he's putting in doesn't mean I need to be doing the same shit that he is.
I just find it inspirational. It's like
motivation. Like, you know,
Exactly.
that's what I say. Like it's motivating to see, like, I'll keep using Alex as an example because he's one of the, like, he's the entrepreneur of the East Coast, you know,
Yeah.
like, he's still grinding, he's still hustling, he's still trying to figure out what works. The guy's still running all the Instagram accounts, like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously there's some that you're helping out with, but
Oh,
like,
he does it all.
the fact that he's got 2 phones on the go and is still running the accounts as the CEO of East Coast Lifestyle, like,
It's hard to. That's a hard role to fill, to be honest.
big time. Well, because it's,
He knows it so well. He's so talented at it.
and it's one of those things that's like, if you want it done right, do it yourself, you know, like, and that's not to any harm to, like, you or like anyone that would have
Yeah.
done it for him. It's just that
It's hard. They've
his
tried
baby.
to hire it for a long
that's
time.
his baby.
and
Like,
the
that,
problem is
that
there's-
brand is his baby.
There's not a lot of people locally who do that type of work. That's where I would love to expand and grow, is like hiring on
I
a
know,
social
we keep
media
saying that,
manager.
man. Like,
But it's like there's nobody out there that really does it.
No, I know, and like
Nobody I'd want to work with.
No, like we keep saying the same thing, that it's like we want to contract out and want to bring people on, but it's like at the same time, it's like that person's gonna be representing us and our brand. It's like, you know, like as much as you never know, like who, like you
Well,
know.
and it's always going to be a battle, you know, even with like, if we land like bigger projects, it's like, okay, we could hire on more people, but we could do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Why are we paying other people to do, but it's like, it's always going to be like,
Do
Such a
it. Do as
double-edged
much as you
sword.
can until literally you, like. That's where I'm at right now. It's like somehow I still feel like I have more to give. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I could sign on another contract, which is like really, really pretty much stretching it. But I feel like I'm so dialed in with Andy, and especially East Coast. Like, we have so much content planned, and like everything's like the groundwork's kind of in with all those, that I feel comfortable bringing on new stuff.
That's like, this is what I want you to do, you know, like, and yeah, like you've built that it's like you can compare and say, okay, this is the blueprint. I need you to create this, curate this, set this up for me, and like you'll come in and just sprinkle the dust on top,
Yeah.
you know, like.
I got big plans for this year, hopefully. So
Stay tuned.
I won't leak it all. I won't leak it all to you guys yet. But the plan is eventually to like be so busy that like I subcontract out to you guys, subcontract out to Joel.
No, fuck Joel.
He knows my dad, I guess. So we gotta.
I'll be fine. Don't worry. Like you guys said, there's food for everyone.
That's, no,
exactly.
everybody's got to
Everyone
eat,
can
man.
eat.
Everyone can eat, and that's the thing. It's like we're still so entry stage and so early stage in Halifax in this industry that it's like we're able to see that the guys are eating, and like no one's going really hungry right now,
Yeah.
and it's good, you know. Like
I'm looking for a social media marketer though.
I'm just doing this one. Look,
I
just-
need a social media manager who is amazing. I need like.
Plug.
Yeah,
I know,
shameless
that's why I'm
plug.
blocking it out
Big
here.
shameless plug. That's definitely who I'm looking for right now. Like, the beauty with Tristan is like Tristan's so talented with the podcast clips that he brought so much to the table that I didn't know. So I learned so much from him, and like I want that same person for social media. It's like I want
Yeah.
the Tristan Ross of social media.
So Brad, I'm gonna put you on, like, not on blast, but on the spot here. What's preventing you from wanting to work with a team? Like, I know you're on your own right
Yeah.
now, because I know we've obviously talked about it multiple times, been
Yeah.
like, let's grow this shit together.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning for wanting to be on your own?
It's hard because it's like if I feel like I can do it myself, it's like I would rather do it myself. And like with Andy's stuff, it's like there's no need for there to be 2 people there. With East Coast stuff, there's no need for there to be 2 people there. And for Master Keys, it's like I'm literally just doing clips on my computer. So
Right.
like for me to work with other people, like I would consider myself on a team now working
Right.
with Tristan on Master Keys, which has been amazing. But like my team is with me and Alex. Like we are a team with East Coast Lifestyle,
Yeah.
and with Andy, I'm a
Team
team
with
with
East
him.
Coast,
So
yeah.
it's like I'm not in a team, but I am in 3 different teams essentially. And working with another creator, it's tough because like I'm very particular with the way I want clips, and like Tristan will even tell you, like he'll send me them and I'll be like, I want you to move this here, and I want you to take out these emojis, and I want this sound to be taken out, and blah 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 blah. And he's respectful of it, and I ask for him to give me the same type of advice as well. But there is problems working with other people with creative decisions, because people can have 2 completely different visions.
For sure.
And if you don't align, then it's tough. So for me, like if I were to work with you guys, like if we had like one big media company, it's like realistically we're all going to just be doing our own things anyways. So it's
Right.
like I don't see a huge benefit of working over an overarching company when people are coming to me directly,
Right.
you know? So I think I do see value in teamwork, but like
there's too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes too. I
for,
get that
for,
too.
for definitely the stuff that I'm doing
Right now, yeah.
Like if you're doing big like
Yeah,
corporate
planned out-
jobs,
yeah.
like what 365 does, it's
Yeah.
like you need to have that many people there. It's like
Yeah.
they're very big productions, but where I'm primarily focused on like social media work, it's like I want to get busy to the point where I have to have people helping me.
For sure.
That's like the end goal. But right now it's like I got to do all the groundwork and build the reputation of Brad Ep Media or whatever it ends up being.
Right. So it's
And
no longer
then-
renew then, eh?
We'll see. We'll see. I don't hate the idea of bringing like the Renew brand back. Like I like the logo. I like the name.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I feel like I could call it anything at
Yeah.
this point, and people would see that I've worked with Jeep. They would see that I've worked with Mary Brown's, East Coast Lifestyle, like all these big names.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Which is a fair response, and like that's just it's a question that's like obviously I'm assuming most people probably wonder. It's like because there's been times that like I know like 2 years ago when someone was like, oh, waiting for Champagne Creatives and Strawberry Media to come together. It's like
Yeah.
it's
not really sustainable.
Yeah.
I feel like,
And, like,
it's like
There's
Also, it would just be three guys who have the same
Skill set.
exactly. It's like
Yeah.
much.
I would want.
Whereas like it'd be more valuable for you to be in a team with someone who just wants to schedule social media posts and like write copy.
That's why I feel like it makes
You know
sense
what I
almost
mean?
to have like a salesperson doing your guys' stuff. It's like if you only focus on the creative stuff and you bring somebody on and you don't even have to realistically pay them commission. It's like if you find us clients, like we'll give you this bag.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Sure.
that's all they do. So that's kind of what I'm like wanting to lean into coming up soon. Is like definitely building a team, but it's I want everybody to be like independent contractors.
Sure.
Like I don't want to have employees really. Like I want
It's
everybody
overhead,
to have
right?
their
It's
own
overhead and it's stress and it's fair. Like it's totally fair to feel like because like I can't imagine, like I know I said like I can't imagine like during the pandemic what Dave Culligan had to deal with layoffs and you know like because he has a big team and like
Yeah.
a lot of really talented people who were doing stuff on their own and then came into under that umbrella and like seeing all that is like I can't imagine how stressful you are going to sleep at night being like how am I going to pay these people tomorrow, you know, like I
It's
know
one thing if you can't pay yourself.
yeah, like it's like for us it's like it's good that it's like we're both good, but it's
Yeah.
like I can't imagine if it was like oh fuck I got to pay Brad and Joel too.
Yeah.
And it's like okay maybe I'm not getting paid this week but these guys are, but it's like fuck I still have rent, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
like I can't imagine that type of stress, so I can totally see why the pros and cons of building a team. Like obviously we say we're a team, we're just two guys right now, but like that's the goal for us is that we want to get into like subcontracting and like having people who aren't in the same skill set as us and learning from that too, right? Like
Yeah.
That's what it says on our new website. Just two guys.
Just two guys.
just two
Just two guys.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think having like
new website coming.
truly the only thing that
Yeah,
really
actually that is.
new website.
That
New
is,
website.
I don't even have a fucking
I was
website.
working
I need
on
a
it this
website.
morning actually.
The
We're dropping the creative.
Should I give Brad a sneak peek? Do you
Yeah, it's pretty fucking.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
pretty sweet. It's.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, it's fair. He's putting in some work and like it's
Yeah.
as you like people can follow along. They see that like we keep changing our logo.
Yeah.
Like we keep. Like we haven't really marketed ourselves really a lot. Like it's been one of those things that it just kind of we both know enough people and word of mouth is just like happening. So we don't really have to market that much. But now it's like at a point that's like we've been at this long enough that I want
Like that screen, Brad?
to market it like a premium company, right?
yeah. Yeah. Definitely super important.
Yeah, let us know what you think about the font.
Yeah, we're not sold on the font yet, but
That's the
I like that picture. Who took it?
some guy.
my friend that was captured by Brad.
So one thing I would definitely
Sold
say,
on
and
the
like
guy now.
Fuck, he looked away already. He wasn't even
I
into it.
know, dude. I know.
Didn't catch him in the first 2 seconds.
I love that. I do.
It's clean though, eh? It's like this font.
Yeah, I do really like that.
Roughly 9 million times better than our other website,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah, I really like that.
What do you guys think of the side menu bar? I feel like that's
I don't-
kind of a vibe.
I like this, but I don't know the MENU
Yeah,
the
might
way
have to
it's
change that, but
It's
yeah.
on
So that's,
menu.
That's bomb.
we got. I'm playing around with how to display these, but
Mm.
it's
Super
always
clean.
hard with video,
Clean,
right?
eh?
But
Super clean. Super clean. Yeah, I really like that.
That's something we've been trying to offer too. Like I said, like there's all these companies we're connecting with that aren't doing websites and stuff right now, and Kyle can whip something together so well and so quickly that it's.
Oh, this was not a quick job.
No, I know, but
I think it,
But I can put something very functional together.
yes,
hopefully, for
yes.
sure.
I shouldn't. I'm not discrediting. That.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
When I say
This
quick,
would
I'm
be
saying.
this would be the extra premium package.
the
Yeah.
one thing I would say about like the teams and stuff is like truly the only thing that makes a business is the people that are in it. Like if you think of any successful business, the reason it's successful is because the people that are in it are
buy into it.
amazing people.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like if I want to have a really successful business, it's like I want to bring on like the best people for the job to help me grow. So it's like when I want to bring on a social media marketer, it's like I want someone who knows it better than I do, and I know it pretty well.
That's what I mean. You want to learn from. You want to learn. The best thing you do is learn from someone else's mistakes and not make them on your own, right?
Exactly.
So like if you can bring in an expert that's already dealt with all that bullshit that you don't necessarily know and are still feeling out, it's like unreal, right? Like that's kind of the plan. The goal is to just like I always say, like surround yourself. You never want to be the smartest person in the room, right? Like you want to surround yourself with people who will bring you up and you can learn from, and like that's like a lesson you can take in any element. That it's like
It's fast forwarded my life a lot, man.
right? Like it's like I've made so many mistakes on my own, right? Oh, you gotta just want to cross-eyed at me.
That's tuna coming off me.
Tuna.
100%.
Love that guy.
Yeah. Well, how long are we going at here? Anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, finding mentors, big part of my success for sure. Like being around Andy, Alex, people who are like very content minded, that are successful, and it's like been like a huge fast forward in my life.
I mean, and I also feel, Brad, like I feel like you've made the shift of like marketing yourself as like someone who's learning to being like, I'm an expert with this brand, I'm an expert with this brand, I'm an expert with this brand. And like obviously in your head you may not necessarily feel like you're an expert and you're like still learning as you go, but like you're pushing it that way. And like that's like a thing that we've been trying to do with the podcast is that when people are like, oh, you guys have a podcast, and we're like, and it's like then you like break it down. It's like, well, we're actually connecting with like real people that are like have gone through real struggles and have like real triumphs. Like and
you're learning.
Yeah, and like it's just you're always learning lessons. You know, like every conversation we have, we're learning in some way or another, or trying to take some lesson away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I gotta get to a haircut.
Oh fuck, he's fucking leaving us.
I know. It was good though. That was a long,
No, dude,
long
okay, no,
combo.
that was-
Go to a hockey tournament.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're going to Truro, eh?
Yeah.
Old Truro. All right. Well, it was
No, dude,
bomb.
that was great.
Good chat.
And like, yeah, I guess you want to do an outro here?
An outro? Yeah, you got the intro. Is
Yeah.
this season 2? Stroby does the intro.
Yeah. I like we kind of been bringing up that it's like if one of us knows the guest more than the other person does the intro kind of thing.
Wow.
So who knows me better out of the two?
That's a good
I
question.
mean, you guys are gym butt buddies, so I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Park Lane's been dead though. So
Cut that. Damn. It's 2022, Rod. They can't be saying that.
Can't say butt buddies.
What's wrong with being butt buddies?
Oh, that's a good point. We're the problem.
Nice.
We're the problem, Brad.
Uno reverse card.
All right. Boom.
Yeah.
Crush.
Dude,
I
Brad's gotta go.
I actually got to pee.
Brad's gotta go.
I actually got to pee. Maybe I'll take this. Actually, I'll stand there I'll sit here for the outro.
It would have been fine.
Fuck, he must be by the hour because it's 1:59 right now. So
Dude, I have so many fucking things I gotta call right now.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in for episode 11. We've got a lot of stuff planned for season 2. The next 10 episodes are going to be great. We have a new title sponsor in the works. We're going to obviously announce that next episode, but yeah, we're super stoked to see where this goes. Thanks again, Brad, for coming on and recapping, and pay no mind to the cans on the table. See you next time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Sweet.